What's up everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta. In the last episode we got into a discussion on sexism, and we also got the earth-shaking revelation that Bayonetta is in fact Cereza. So now we are sprinting headfirst into the endgame to figure out what that is all about, and the answers to some other pretty big questions like who is the Viewtiful CEO, and what exactly has this Eyes of the World plot been driving towards. Here we have a journal entry from Antonio that's going to answer, or at least shed light on, some of those questions. So this one reiterates what we already... Man, I can't talk today. It reiterates what we already know about the Isla del Sol. It's a man-made island which houses the world's leading conglomerate, the Viewtiful Group, whose building we are currently, demolishing. Antonio posits that the purpose of the island is to be the center for an Viewtiful-led theocracy. He says that the buildings on the island are arranged to form a spiral towards the center. And he says, quote, a symbol of the trinity of realities known as the cosmos of chaos. And at the heart of the building, the Viewtiful CEO, rumored to be a descendant of the Lumen Sage, is researching a massive energy project. And coming up, I believe we have the... Is it... Oh man, which refight is this? I think this one is Justice. You know what's kind of irritating me? I had the names of all of the faces at some point. I found them between now and the last time I brought this up, and then lost the names again. I had them written down somewhere. I think one of them is Euphoria, Rage, and then something else. Euphoria, I think, is definitely one. I'm not too confident on Rage. It still deepens the comparison for me to the Reliquary of Souls and Black Temple in World of Warcraft. The Reliquary is Desire, Despair, Anger, I think? Yeah, that's it. Still don't know what Justice or Justicia? I don't know how that's pronounced, because I know for a while I was saying Lustita, but I think it's either a J or an I, and maybe it is Justicia, I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments. I think somebody commented on the spelling, but not like the phonetic pronunciation. I don't know, I have to go back and reread that particular comment. It would have helped if I had done that before I sat down to record, but oh well. And I really, really love this view of the city below. Actually, if you look down here, I don't know if I really rotated the camera too much. You can actually see what that journal entry was talking about with the spiral leading towards the center, the layout of the buildings on the island. And of course, this is exactly the same as the boss fight, the Cardinal Virtue of Justice boss fight. Trying to dance around pronouncing the name. Oh, so the story that I was gonna tell in the last episode that I didn't have time to go into. This stage was supposed to involve flying a jet fighter into the building. This and I think the end of the last stage. Like the last stage transitioning into this. It was supposed to involve flying a jet fighter into the building and fighting a headless night boss, and that all got cut out, unfortunately. The idea was you would crash halfway up and fight to the upper half so they didn't have to make the lower part of the building. And the part where you fought Jean in the previous chapter was supposed to be the military base. So here we are getting pretty deep into the Ithavoll building. That statue that you got a glimpse of a moment ago is going to come in to play real soon, actually. Maybe not this episode or the next, but, well, there are only so many episodes left of Bayonetta. They are very, very few. In fact, I think there might only be 3 or 4 more, including some bonus content. So the reason I'm just sitting here looking around, eventually you can find a little, not quite an Easter egg, but you will be attacked by somebody who I think we only refought once or twice. And that is Courage. He's supposed to pop out here somewhere, but it can be a little bit random. So what I think I'm gonna do is I am going to cut ahead to when that happens. Oh, I hear him. There he is. And if we try to fight him, we are just gonna fall to our damage. Not quite fall to our deaths, but fall to our damage. Ah, and we have another journal entry. I think this is the second to last one, actually, aside from the unlockable final one that you get for reading through the rest of them. So in this one, we learn that the name of the Ithavoll CEO is Baldur, and there is no record of his life, his schooling, his place of birth, family, and so on. Furthermore, if the sages were wiped out 500 years ago, and this man is a descendant of them, he would have to be at least 500 years old. So this whole section can be a little bit wonky, because you have all these moving platforms that you're witch-walking on, and some of them just float down to the bottom. They just kind of gradually go away, and I jumped off the edge. And these glowing ones are the ones that are imminently about to disappear. A lesson that I did not learn. Also, since we're on the topic of diary entries or journal entries, whatever you want to call them, we have one more to collect. And on the topic, in the vein of collectibles, we only have a couple more moon pearls and witch hearts to get. In fact, I think we might only have one more of each of those? Maybe 2? We have the final Alfheim waiting for us in a few episodes. Actually, the final Alfheim will probably come during the finale. So yeah, having the crow within here makes it makes this section a little bit of a less of a hassle, but as you can see there, sometimes Witch Walk just doesn't activate and you will just fall back to where you were. This whole section always just irritated me. Also, this part of the game, at least on the PS3, I don't know if it's the same on the Xbox, is really, really laggy. Like, the frame rate tanks here. It's not going to be as noticeable for you guys because this is going from... I recorded... Let's see. What's a better way to phrase it than what I was about to say? The game plays in 60 frames a second. YouTube only plays back at 30 frames a second. So I'm taking all this 60 frame per second footage and rendering at 30 frames since YouTube's not going to pick up the other 30 frames anyway. So the major frame rate dips aren't going to be as noticeable if you're watching on YouTube. When you're playing, though, it feels like it tanks from like 60 FPS consistently throughout the whole game to, I'm going to say, like 18. And this is the chest that I was looking to get to. I think there is a heart in here. No, there is a moon pearl. A broken moon pearl. And if that gives us a whole moon pearl, I think that's the last one. Oh, actually, you know what? We're not going to get the last broken witch heart during this chapter anyway, because the last broken witch heart, either that or the last broken moon pearl, one or the other, comes from the final Alfheim, so that's not going to have that 100% completion for those two things quite yet. I think this is the first time we fought a golem that transforms into the spider.
Too late.
I think the one we fought in the Alfheim challenge, though, did transform into the centipede infernal demon, whose name, Scolopendra? And the spider was Phantasmarania or something along those lines. I might actually die here. Even if I'm pretty careful, it just takes one shot. Or it should. Unless I have a red hot shot, maybe? Oh, cool, I got a little bit lucky. This one always worries me, though. Yeah, that's why. I did have a red hot shot, though, so that's fortunate. Fortunate, fortunate, fortunate. Looks like some kind of gecko.
Nice.
Oh my god, I just made myself want to play Gex the Gecko. Oh, how many of you remember that game? Yeah, Gex was the shit as long as you were burnt out from playing Crash Bandicoot. They were nothing alike except they had the furry Nope, geckos aren't furry. The anthropomorphized animal protagonist and like the cutesy, colorful, cartoony art style, but still, whatever, I'm gonna compare them. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have to get around to doing a Let's Play for the Crash Bandicoot games, at least the good ones. Crash of the Titans, maybe not so much. The first four, awesome.
Nice.
That fight was a lot more dicey than I would have liked it to be. Oh, by the way, some of the statues in here, you might have noticed that I've been breaking a few of them open. Some of them have enemies and some of them don't. And that, again, is mainly because of RAM limitations. They couldn't put as many enemies in as they would have liked. So they just had the guessing game. I think they might have used that to their benefit, though, and had the enemies that were in there be a part of hidden verses. I don't know, I'll find out at the end of this chapter how many hidden verses there were. That should correlate to how many statues with enemies there were. Not sure if I worded that great. Okay, now begins the annoying process of combing this area for things that I missed, because I know that there are a few things, or I knew at the time, rather. Oh man, I see myself ignoring a chest and that bugs me. That's always the worst thing, is not necessarily when someone plays poorly, but when they are not being observant. Though, to be fair, when I initially recorded this, I was still commentating over it. It's just I no longer have that original audio, which is why we are in the spot we are in. I think that worked out for the best, though, because I feel pretty good about episode 26 on the sexism talk, and that wasn't initially what I was talking about when I recorded that section of the game. And I think that extra little time to collect my thoughts on the topic made that discussion into something pretty interesting that I'm proud of. Then again, I'm pretty proud of this whole Let's Play, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as I hope you guys are enjoying watching it as much as I have been enjoying playing and researching and bringing you guys this all this information about the game. And I hope I didn't die here. Oh, something bad is gearing up to happen. No! Oh, all of it went well. Awesome. Can't say that was expected. I'm still just combing the area for something I missed. Either that or the, whatever I needed to get to move on. You know what? There might be another Alfheim here that I forgot about. There is a journal entry right here, and I believe that's going to be the last one. Yes, it is. So there's all the diary pages, which I didn't initially intend to get, but it just kind of happened by accident. So in this one, Antonio is talking about how easy it is to get information on the Ithavoll conglomerates, or the conglomerate, as of late. And it's setting off a red flag for him, because he's thinking that maybe the Ithavoll CEO is intentionally leaking information to try to maybe cover his tracks a little bit, or send out some red herrings, so that people don't become suspicious about his origins. And of course he takes the time to reiterate what he's been talking about with this next generation energy research. And if you noticed early on in the chapter, I don't think we've seen too much of it in this episode so far, but last episode I didn't point this out, but there are all these red capsules, or these capsules filled with red fluid, and they house the bodies of witches, and they're being used to power the building and presumably this next generation energy research. And it all looks a bit like something out of the scene in The Matrix where Neo's in the big embryo and they do the explanation about how people are basically being used like batteries for the machines. Yeah, something like that. Okay, this is the elevator I was searching for all this time. And I think we have our final boss fight coming up here. Indeed. And then after he is dead, which shouldn't take too long, we will basically be done with the chapter. Just a little brief section after that. So as you can see, this boss refight isn't nearly as interesting as the actual boss himself. Hopefully he doesn't kill me though. I mean, I know I say I hope I don't die frequently, but you know. Does anyone hope they do die? I guess suicidal people. Does anyone have a suicidal tendency for their video game characters? Oh no. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, so this little fireball chase sequence is meant... The fire is meant to catch up to you and almost completely engulf you. And here we have more of that red fluid. It's meant to look a lot more urgent than it actually is. If you just keep running straight, you will never actually be caught by the fire. You have to have like some kind of stutter happen or pause briefly. Now we take the golden luminous bridge up to the top of the tower, where we will face off against the final boss of the game. And you can see again here the spiral pattern that the city makes towards the center here at the Ithobal Tower. And that's it for chapter 15. We have one more chapter to go and an epilogue. I'm gonna save the title reveal for the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.